Hello everyone, I'm Rituja Jori, Venture Services Manager at Altitude Accelerator. We are here today at Collision Conference and I'm speaking with Kevin Smith. Kevin is a seasoned expert in sales and marketing with a passion for helping founders tell their stories effectively. Starting his career at Dell during Y2K crisis, Kevin discovered his love for sales, eventually becoming a brand manager, and later working in Dell's M&A group, where he collaborated with innovative startup founders. For the past 10 years, Kevin has dedicated himself to assisting thousands of founders in pitching better, marketing smarter, and selling faster. Thanks for joining us today, Kevin.
Oh, you're welcome.
Let's dive right in. Could you share how do you help startups accurately identify and understand their target customer personas and why this is crucial for their overall business strategy?
Yeah, so I find that sometimes startup founders are overly broad in who they're targeting and not necessarily overly specific. So they might say, our customers are men from 30 to 50, or tech enthusiasts. And it's not enough to describe who the customer is. Uh, the more focused that a customer persona and profile can be built, the more efficient a company's marketing can be. To me, the core equation of any business is LTV versus CAC. High lifetime value, low cost to acquire customer. If your customer's too broad, you start building a product that has to address too many customer needs, so your product gets more expensive. You can't really focus on any particular need, so you can't have that value proposition that lets you drive the lifetime value up. And then your marketing is too broad, so your cost to acquire customers is too high. Your marketing isn't efficient. So the more you segment, the more you find a specific persona, the better your overall business value proposition is.
Thanks for sharing those insights. Can you describe the key elements of an effective go to market strategy and how you guide startups in developing and implementing this strategy?
Yeah, so kind of going off of, again, the LTV versus CAC, the main thing that I try and figure out is the buyer's journey. So the buyer journey is basically kind of following on the LTV versus CAC. The main thing that I try and figure out is the buyer journey. So every buyer has a journey when they are trying to solve a problem that they have. The first thing I want to figure out is what kind of journey is that? Because there's actually different journeys. And so I have this analogy that I use of a failing fridge. So if you were to go home today and your fridge just suddenly stopped working, how quickly would you buy a new fridge?
Pretty quickly.
Yeah, because all of your food would spoil. Yeah, so it's an urgent problem. You need an immediate remedy. And so you go through a very fast buying journey. And this happened to us. Our fridge failed. We literally had to go to the first appliance store we could think of. We looked at 3 fridges. We bought the first one that kind of fit our needs, but there wasn't a lot of time for research or evaluation. It was like, we need a fridge today. Some customers are in that situation. The pain is so large and so immediate, they have to go through very quickly. And so that relates to strategy because the steps they take are very specific. They're going on Google, they're going on specific sites, they're very intent. Sometimes you get what's called instead of a fast lane buying journey, you get a slow lane buying journey where it's like the fridge is making a funny noise. It's kind of outdated. I think I need a new one, but you don't need to go and replace it immediately. So you spend a little bit more time evaluating, hey, maybe I need an ice tray, maybe I need a water cooler, maybe I need a counter depth. So you do all of this extra research. And so buyers who are in that journey, now get this, okay, I can take more time. They are aware of more sources of information. Then there's a whole other journey, and this concept I got from a book, by the way, called The Nuclear Effect. So it was a really great book. But the last journey model they had was the sidewalk. And that's basically somebody who doesn't know they have a problem. And that, a lot of founders run into that where it's like, we know our customer's problem, but they don't. So it's kind of like the food in my fridge is spoiling. So I think the grocery store is selling me bad food, but really the fridge isn't keeping temperature. You know, it's at 8 degrees instead of 4 degrees, and that can actually be very dangerous because you can get foodborne pathogens and all kinds of stuff. So, a properly educated customer then realizes the fridge is the problem and goes, oh, I need to go and replace my fridge. So in that type of journey, there's a lot of emphasis on awareness and education, sometimes just to get the customer aware that the problem exists and what the impact is. And then they go into either a slow lane or a fast lane journey. So the first thing is just figuring out what type of journey is it that the customer has. Then you go back to what's the persona? What media channels do they pay attention to? How do they research? And then you kind of reverse engineer that to figure out, okay, I need to use search engine ads and Facebook marketing and trade shows. So you figure out the right mix. And then you have to figure out, can I do that at a cost that is at least a third of the lifetime value of my customer? And if I can do that, then that's probably a good marketing strategy.
I really like the fact that you break down a big problem into small pieces and then figure out the decision-making process of the customer. And I really like the failing fridge analogy. I'm going to use it with my customers now. What are some essential components of a compelling brand story and go-to-market message? And how can startups ensure their message resonates with their audience?
Okay, so Collision's just started, but I've been to a bunch of booths already. And some founders are really good at getting their message across really quickly. Some others need some help. The big thing to keep in mind is that anytime you're trying to tell your story, you're trying to persuade somebody. I'm trying to relay information and persuade you to take some action on that. And what I'm fighting against is the attention of the person that I'm talking to. And we have these magical distraction boxes in our pockets and all kinds of things. The human attention span is less than 7 seconds. A goldfish is 8 seconds. So we have an attention span that's lower than a goldfish. So I use something I call a progressive persuasive pyramid. And it's the idea that I need to progressively earn attention. And so I have to have a story that works at 7 seconds. So I have to distill everything about what I'm doing to be able to say, how can I help in 7 seconds? And so for my 7-second pitch is I help tech companies figure out what their story is and then how to get traction. And then that opens up the space to have a 30-second conversation. So if in 7 seconds you've kind of said, okay, there's a solution to my problem here, your brain is like, okay, I'll listen, but only for 30 seconds. And so now you have to be able to kind of articulate some value within 30 seconds. And then the brain at 30 seconds is making another decision. It's like, do I want to spend more time or do I want to divert my attention to something more important? So it's this progressive thing. It's like 7 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute into 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And so you see this in things like web page design. Web pages have really big headers with really big text, and then a little bit more text, and then big headers and a little bit more text. It's trying to draw you in for those stages. But any type of marketing copy, any type of marketing story has to kind of follow that same approach. The other thing to look at is movie trailers. So a movie trailer is basically an ad for the movie. They used to be about 2 minutes because people had the attention span for that. Well, now if you watch any trailer, you'll notice that there's actually a trailer for the trailer. There's a little 7-second teaser, big explosions and whatnot, to get you interested to pay attention to the trailer for 2 minutes so that they can get you into the theater for 2 hours. So you'll see that kind of process throughout every brand story.
I understand why Altitude clients have great reviews for you and your work. So thank you so much, Kevin. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is fun.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the conference. Have a good day.